we from the brand owner side, we've been studying and learning and trying to figure this out ourselves from the brand side of how do we find the right influencers, how do we find the people to give out samples to, how do we build out a strategy. When we launch products on Amazon, I have a day by day strategy, day 1, day 2, day 3, and tasks assigned to people every single day. But how do we launch a product with TikTok shops has been our goal over the last few months, to figure out how to do that.
Treading water is the same as drowning to people like you and me. You better start swimming. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob Green.
Well, welcome to today's podcast. We've got Nick Siebecker, TikTok shops extraordinaire. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good. So this is going to be a fun conversation. We talked a little bit off camera, getting started here. So before we jump into all the things that I want to cover, tell us a little bit about you and what you've been doing the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, so I would say starting at the end of December of 2023, I have been making car content for the last three and a half years. And one day I was just seeing so many videos popping up on my For You page with the TikTok shop products all the time. And it was on this one product called Scent Season air fresheners. And I was seeing it every single video. I was scrolling every 3 videos. I'll just see it pop up. I was like, you know what? Let me just get them. Let me try it out. I'm a car guy. I got to see what the hype is about and everything. Made a video with my grandma and put it all together. It was like a 10-minute full video we made, cut it down to a minute and a half. And I was like, this video, I don't really know how I feel about it. I really did not think the video was going to do well at all. Thought I was going to maybe get 1,000 views. And out of nowhere, overnight, I hop on my phone and I'm like, holy crap, I am just generating so much money off of just one video. And it was insane on how many sales I was generating just from that one video. And I didn't even think it was going to get pushed out at all. And to start kind of off with that, it's you have to realize that some of those videos that you don't think are going to perform well, you just need to post it, because you never know if one of those videos are going to do significant and generate the sales that you want to get. And sometimes I'll have a video where I'm posting something, I'm like, yo, this is going to be a hit. And it ends up just being absolutely nothing. So going back to that, I saw that I was making a good amount of money. And I just said, listen, I got to start getting the ball rolling. Started making a bunch of prank videos with air fresheners, making pranks on my grandma, doing whatever. It's generating another 10 million views in videos.
Wow.
Just trying to make a good amount off of that. And then from there, brands started hitting me up, and I just started making products on everything, product videos on every single product I can really get my hands on. And it just kind of goes to show that you really just need to start with that one video and stay consistent with it. And you start leading up to here. Now I've sold over $1 million in product in the last, we're in the end of May right now. So in about 6 months, definitely over $1 million. We run 5 different accounts, my brother and I, and we just do it full time.
Dude, I love these stories. First of all, man, I love I was just trying stuff out. It worked. But then I think the really smart move you made, Nick, is you doubled down. You're like, this is it. Holy crap, I'm making money. Let's focus. I'm bringing my brother in. Let's double down on this. You never know how long it's going to last. Let's go make some money while we can. But for those that are uninitiated, most people have TikTok or are familiar with TikTok, but TikTok Shop started in September of 23, I believe, and then opened up, and it's brand new, and it's a way to buy on platform on TikTok shops. So I started studying it maybe November of 23, when I started seeing a brand called Guru Nanda take off.
Yes.
And I saw them take off, and I focus a lot on Amazon, but I saw their spillover on Amazon, and they started crushing on Amazon because of what they're doing TikTok shops. So we, from the brand owner side, we've been studying and learning and trying to figure this out ourselves from the brand side of how do we find the right influencers, how do we find the people to give out samples to, how do we build out a strategy. When we launch products on Amazon, I have a day by day strategy, day 1, day 2, day 3, and tasks assigned to people every single day. But how do we launch a product with TikTok shops has been our goal over the last few months, to figure out how to do that. So talk to me a little bit about, because I think I know where you're going with this. This feels like a numbers game to me. You never know what's going to hit, but you've done the work and learned and studied this stuff to get to the point where you've increased the probability of success. Is that the way to think about it?
Yeah, I think the main thing is to be consistent when you're posting, right? You can't just post one video a day and think that's going to be it. And I know that might sound like a lot to certain people, but in reality, you can post a duet video, you can post a 7-second clip, and then you can post a minute long video, and then one quick one off of the TikTok app, just filming your face and showing the product. You really just have to kind of split it up, and once you kind of figure out what's clicking and what's not, it comes down to just making videos nice and quick. That's what you want to have. You want to have quick videos. Maybe sometimes you can take your time and make a really nice, well-edited video, but sometimes those videos really don't even do well.
Hmm.
It's more just on certain things that are said in the video, certain good hooks, good ways to just get them to click on that orange tab on the bottom left. And once you can come up with that good way to make those videos pop, it's really just a numbers game on just putting out as many videos as you can. And that's what I tell everyone. Like, you have to at least post, I say 3 to 5 times a day at the minimum. I mean, sometimes I'm even posting up to 8 to 10. It really just depends on how the day's going, what's clicking in my head. I'm sometimes sitting there on TikTok, sometimes get caught up obviously with other videos, but I try to watch other creators and see what's clicking. Why did that video go viral? Because it could have been their hook. It could have been something they said wrong. For example, someone in that I know I'm really good friends with, he does the Pop Daddy pretzels, and for the garlic parmesan, he says like garlic parmesan or something, right?
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
he says that, the comments just go crazy. They're like, "Why are you saying that? That is not how you say it." But that's the engagement, and that's why the videos are getting 5 million views at a time, because he just says a word wrong, and it's crazy how simple that is. And then all those views, at some point, people are going to be buying out of those views, and that's just such an easy way to convert over for a lot of the people.
We've had a few episodes or clips of the podcast here go viral on TikTok, and most of the time it's something I say that's controversial, or offends the woke crowd, or somebody, affects
Mm-hmm.
some group, right? And then they just litter it with comments, which I appreciate, because that just feeds the algorithm. So thank you very much for that. I love when people get upset about it, because and they're not mean, they're not meant to be offensive. They're just, some people take offense to them, and they're somewhat controversial, and then they get all upset about it, and that just feeds the algorithm, which is fantastic.
It's great. It
Yeah.
really is great. They don't even realize what they're doing. They're just helping you out in the end of the day.
I appreciate that help. So this ecosystem is new. I mean, I know it's been like 9 months now, but it is new. It's fresh. It's changing every day. So when I think about, and I'm a data guy. So I'm a data guy. I love digging into data. I use, a bunch of different softwares to understand TikTok shops. We use Callow Data. We use FastMoss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into the software. I've talked to some guys in Taiwan that make software for the Chinese market. Like, I'm into the data side of things. And I use that to understand, like, well, reverse engineer, what is this brand doing? Or what is this affiliate doing to do well, right? How do you stay on top of what's happening? I know you probably, you peruse the FYP all the time, but like, how do you stay on top of what's happening?
So it comes to a mix of me having certain people I follow. I know that they're going to be putting out the content all the time, seeing what's clicking with them. Then when I go on my TikTok shop center thing, I start scrolling down, and then I look on the page for there. I see what videos are doing really well, or what products TikTok's trying to really push out. And then, like you were saying, Kahlo data is really, really beneficial. I think that's one of the best things. You can go on and really see what's working very well, because you can see literally anything on there to see how much people are making off of either the live streams, off of the videos. You can really just see where things are clicking. And I do live streams as well, so that kind of helps to see which products are really working well and which products aren't. So then I can know, okay, let me make a video on this, or let me do a live stream on this. And a bigger thing on top of that, I would say, is the flash sales. When there's a flash sale on a product, which sometimes products just stay on a flash sale, but for the most part, when you have a flash sale, that is the easiest way I've noticed to convert people over. And I can say that personally, because I just started my own little business too on TikTok Shop. Had a
Okay.
thousand units sold out in 2 days on live streams. Two
Come on.
days I sold it out, I swear. And it's crazy. My brother and I never thought, because we've done drop shipping before, maybe
Yeah.
made a couple bucks, but nothing to how simple it is to make money like this. And I mean, just having a little flash sale, you say you buy two, you get the free shipping, and
Yeah.
bam, people are buying it up because they want to get that deal before it runs out. You say, listen, the deal's going to run out today. Make sure you're picking that product up, and the people are going to buy it up.
Scarcity works, man. Always has,
Exactly.
always will. Are you the guy? So I've seen a bunch of live streams. I've seen some of the data, and you're right. It's bananas. Like, 3-hour live stream sells 80,000 in revenue, and you're like, how is that even possible? The number of people. Are you doing the live streams? I've seen some as simple as a white turntable with a product on it and then a voiceover. I've seen some where they do, they record it, they loop it, and it just loops over and over again. And then I've seen some where there's actually a person in it and they're demonstrating the product. What have you found any of those to be the secret, the winning formula, I guess you'd say?
So it's funny you were just talking about the white turntable. I don't mean to be that person, but I think I was the first person to come out with the turntable technique.
Stop it.
I swear on everything, because I was trying to figure out a way how to keep that live stream moving without having the TikTok algorithm pick up on it and say, hey, listen, you're not there. We're going to flag your video. I bought two of these little turntables off of Amazon. They're the black ones, but they're like nice and small. And you put like 8 of those air fresheners, because this is when I was doing the air fresheners and pumping those out at the time. And I'm telling you, we were doing, man, like 15-hour live stream days sometimes. Like, we would just milk it out. My brother and I, we would swap on and off and just be able to make our videos on the side. And then, so if I was doing a live for 2 hours, then I would hop off. He would jump on. I'll go make my videos, vice versa. And then, but then I put out those black turntables, and that's what keeps that algorithm saying that, hey, listen, this live is still popping. They're still there. They're not leaving. Even though sometimes still, to this day, they will have these little things that pop up, making sure you're still there, and you just have to verify that you are. It's very random on how that works. I've heard people doing the loophole where like they do the loop method where, you just keep repeating. And I've still am very sketched out about that. I really don't even think they were getting as good of results on it. I don't know if that still works or if it ever did work. I just like to play it safe just because I don't want to get violation points or anything. I'd rather just stick with what's working. But yeah,
that's a model. It'd be perfect to model on this. They're the best in the world at it is QVC and HSN.
Yes.
They are. So we had our mastermind last week, and one of my friends, she's got a big home goods company, tens of millions of dollars in revenue. And they just did HSN or QVC, one of the two, I can't remember. And they sold, I'll get this wrong, but let's call it $1 million in a 24-hour period on like HSN or QVC, right? And she had to do like every 4 hours, she had to go in and be a part of the show because it's a live show. And she had to go and talk about the product and how it works and the benefits and all that stuff. But I mean, it generated crazy, which, you and I, that just seems bananas to me. People are sitting at home watching TV, buying products off of live TV. But they have that dialed in better than anybody else in the world because they know, oh, she said this word and they can see the sales spike. Oh, she talked about this problem and solved it this way and crushed it. And so they have like the analytics they have are bananas. Like they just get into this deep level of words and phrases and problems that you solve and they crush it. I mean, they would be a good model. Now that you talk about that, they would be really somebody to model after on these live streams, especially with TikTok pushing it.
No, you're right. And I get those comments a lot that it's like, oh, is this the next QVC? I get that at least like 10 times a day in the comments on live streams. But you're 100% right. I mean, even just for someone that wants to learn on how to do a live stream the right way, you should just watch one of those lives. And I know it's a little bit different than TikTok, but there could be something that is said to where, okay, that converted over and that's why people are buying the product. And that's another thing I do too on TikTok is that I'll just go on live streams and I'll watch a little bit and just see what people are saying and why. You could see that little tab on the middle of the screen that says X amount of people are viewing the cart. So once you see 10 people at one time clicking on that cart, see what that person said right before and pick up on that. Use that line and repeat it over and over. Write a script on the side, repeat yourself. I'm telling you, I've gotten to the point sometimes where I've done live streams for so long and I would go to sleep thinking I'm still live and I could not even sleep. I'm just saying it in my live and I'm like, okay, yeah, make sure you're picking up this deal or whatever. And it's crazy. But once you get that script in your head, it's pretty simple because you're just repeating yourself nonstop. That is the key to a live stream, is that you just need to keep on repeating because there's always new people popping in. It's not the same people over and over. So you got to make sure you're saying, okay, it's 50% off, free shipping, X amount, whatever. And you just keep going from there. You just got to keep on repeating that.
That is unbelievable. And I want to dive into the part about the 1,000 units. You did a drop ship product, I assume. Is that what you did for the 1,000
Yes.
units?
Yeah.
Okay. And so how did you decide what to pick? You don't have to tell me the product if you don't want to, but how did you decide what to pick in that product as a drop shipping product?
So it's funny because we actually bought these products about a year and a half ago, and we were gonna take up on it and do the drop shipping, but we ended up just not really getting into it that much. We were just kind of like, we don't know how we feel about it, but we did bring them all down to Florida, and once we did, we saw everything going well with TikTok Shop, and I was just like, yo, we got to just give it a shot. I mean, you never know what could really happen.
Yeah.
And then I actually was at the gym. This was about not even a week ago. I was at the gym. My brother decides to go live with the product, and I come back home and he's already packing the orders live. I see, 50 orders already packed. And I was like, dude, like, what the heck is going on? There's no way you're selling that many already. And it's only been maybe an hour since I've been gone. And bro, we just ran with it. We just kept on making that live stream longer. Filled up the orders because you can only do 100 per day when you're a new
new account
shop. So we're still on that thing, but we're already sold out, so we got to get more product. But anyways, like having that 100 a day was kind of hard to then keep on scaling up. But for right now, that's okay because again, we don't have as many products at the moment. But once we get more, hopefully it's gonna work.
Great test. You brought 1,000 units into like your home, like old school, like. I'm pick, packing, boxing myself.
Exactly. Yeah. I know you could do it the other way, having a company do it for you, but I just felt like for the price and like that we got them for, and then on top of that, I think a lot of people do like to see their product packed on stream, and that was a really big thing. And I've noticed that I'm going to shout out the air freshener company Scent Season. They've been doing that same thing where they're packing all of their orders from the viral videos, and they have 10 of their employees all live. So I'm scrolling on my For You page, seeing them live. They're making already money off that. But then all the employees that are working for them, they're going live, making sales off of those while packing orders for other people. And then they're packing those people's orders that are ordering off the live as well. So I was like, yo, that's really not a bad idea, though, because I could just say, hey, we're packing your order live. We'll give you a shout out. We'll say your name, ring a bell or something, hype it up. And then
I love the bell, by the way. Bell's great.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I love the bell.
The bell is the best, man. The bell is the method. Yeah. I'm telling you, you'll start seeing that a lot more coming up. Once the people start picking up on the live streams, they're gonna be clicking that bell a lot.
Did you buy from a distributor like in the US, or did you buy straight from China?
No, straight from China.
Okay, so AliExpress, Alibaba, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Nick, this is where we're gonna switch over to value add for me, I think, on this. So I've been working with manufacturers in China since 2014, I believe. Mm-hmm. The amount of money you can save by finding the right factory in China is shocking. Did you airship?
No, I did overseas, but that's because we didn't really need it at the time.
Got it. So you did like an LCL, like a less than container load.
Yeah, but I have been looking now into both overseas and the air shipping, and obviously the price is a lot different. I mean, it's a lot more expensive for doing the air. But if you have any tips or any ideas how to do that, let me know.
Let's start dumping value right here on you, Nick. So number one, air shipping is typically 8 to 10 times the cost of freight, depending on if you fill up a container or not. And that's where you want to get to, right? If you're shipping a full container, containers come in 3 sizes. There's a 20, a 40, and a 40 HQ, which is a tall, essentially. So most 20 footers and 40 footers are 8 feet tall. HQ is 9 feet tall. So you typically get one more layer of product into the packaging. And that's where you start saving crazy money on shipping, because they don't have to open the container. Because when you buy 1,000 units of something, you're in a container with other people's products, most likely, unless it's a big product, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll get your product, some other guy ordered another 1,000, they go into a 20-foot container. Well, that costs money because they have to put it in the container in China. Then they have to take it out of the container at the port, and then they have to like segment it. Where if it's in a container and you have a full container, an FCL it's called, a full container load, what'll happen is they literally pick up the container and they put it on a train or they put it on a truck and it goes to wherever the end destination is, right? So you save a lot of that manual labor part of unpacking and packing up a container. So you can get numbers that are, I mean, very, very, you can ship it, depending on the time of year, a 20-footer is anywhere from, a couple grand to, non-COVID times, probably $2 to $4 to ship for the entire container over the
Gotcha.
sea, oversea, right? And then you've got your tariffs, which I don't know if you dealt with that at all. Did you do tariffs, HST codes?
No, I don't think so. I didn't mess with that.
Yeah, so harmonized tariff codes is something important. If you are importing from China, there is a schedule. So just look up harmonized tariff codes. It's a government schedule. Depending on the product, the government taxes you based upon your COGS in China and the code that you use. And they're like 5403.98.0.1. It's the most complicated schedule you've ever seen. It makes the US medical system look simple. Like it's insane,
Really?
right? And like my favorite story on this is a Santa costume has one code if it has a zipper and has a different code if it has buttons.
No way, really?
And the difference is like, I don't remember the numbers exactly, like 5% tax and 100% tax.
Really?
Because
Damn,
one is
that big
like
of a difference with that.
professional Santas and the other is like, I'm dressing up as Santa for my kids at my house. So that's something to pay attention when you do start importing from China. The best practice that I've been doing for the last decade is find a factory that already makes good product for somebody else, especially if you're not changing it. So what you do is you go, Amazon's the easiest way to do this. You look at Amazon. So let's just call it a widget. Let's call it a spatula, right? And you're like, I want to sell spatulas on TikTok, right? Probably not a great idea, but you want to sell a spatula. You go find a brand on Amazon that's doing really well, got good reviews. You reverse engineer their factory. You find their factory in China. How you do that, Nick, is use a free site called Import Yeti. You
Okay.
put in the brand name and the LLC of the brand that we're talking about. It will tell you everybody they buy from in China.
Gotcha.
You reach out to those factories and you say, hey, I know you make this product. I'm interested in buying however many, 3,000, 5,000 units of that product, right? What that does is shortens the learning curve for you. You can get other quotes from other people, but now you're not just getting random quotes from random factories in China. You know now this factory's been making for a brand. They have good reviews, so they must be quality, and you can see how long they've been ordering from them for. So if they've been ordering for 2 years, you know they make good products. If they didn't, they would have switched to another factory. That's the fastest way to find high quality factories. Next level is, I've gone to China many times. You go to China, you visit the factory, you go to the Canton Fair, you walk around the fair, you find new suppliers, and we start customizing products. That is definitely the way to go. Every time I've gone to China, I save money. It's insane because it's a very relationship oriented. It's not transactional, right? They want volume and they want to get to know you and go to dinner and that kind of stuff. But for what you're looking to do, shortcut it by finding the factories that are already doing a good job of manufacturing for somebody else and use them to get quotes. And then that's your benchmark moving forward for everybody else.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's actually really good information. And
Yeah, if you ever get
you've
a
been to
private
China many
label,
times?
what's that?
You've been to China many times?
Oh yeah. Like,
So, like, what do you specifically look for when you go out there? Like, how do you go about it?
so this is going to be a good story, I think, because I was doing drop shipping for years, and then this is so crazy every time I say it. I bought a course online in like 2014 on how to build your own brands. It's called ASM. It's called Amazing Selling Machine. I think it's still out, like version 15 or something now. But anyway, I bought the course and it was like, okay, how do you like find factories? How do you manufacture your own product? How do you create your own brand? They skipped the whole part about like China and like visiting and shipping over. So I bought the course. I went to the live event and I was like, this is a no-brainer. I booked a flight to China. I went to the Canton Fair for 9 days. It's in Guangzhou, China. It's the world's largest trade show. It's 12 million square feet, and it runs over 3 phases for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So they have
Okay.
one whole batch of exhibitors for 4 days. They take them all out for 3 days. They put another batch in, take them out, put another batch in. So 3 times it turns over. It's the most, it's like, imagine like 3 football stadiums, but levels full of exhibitors within a football stadium, full
So
of,
when you
of
get there, like
yeah.
where do you even look because of
Okay.
how big it is?
So what they do is they segment it. Like each phase 1, 2, and 3, have different categories, right? Like, so if you're doing textiles, that might be in phase 1, only phase 1. If you're doing medical's phase 3.
Hmm.
Sporting goods is phase 3. So tools like hand tools, that's like phase 1. So you go to the one not everybody does every category. You typically go to the one that matters to you, and then they have sections. They have a section like these 2 floors are tools, and you walk the trade show. And my method that always worked for me is I would be like, hey, I know this much about, let's say, drills. And then I would just talk to every single booth that made drills. And I would get smarter every booth and ask questions. And then by the end of a row, you're an expert on drills, man. You know everything about drills, how they're made, who makes them, who their suppliers are, what the materials are that go in. Like, you know everything about it because you just keep upping. And then you get pricing from everybody. And then you go back the next day. I love doing this. And they go, Nick, listen, Nick, I like you a lot. Nick, you're my favorite. I talked to a bunch of factories yesterday, but my boss said your price is too high. So I want to work with you and I want to buy from you. We need to get our price down.
Hmm.
And then, of course, they come down because I call it the American tax or the white guy tax. They definitely give me higher prices than they give like local Chinese. For sure.
Yeah.
I've tested this over and over again. So I typically, after my first couple of times of going, I would bring a Chinese person, a native that lived there that I knew with me to translate and get quotes. And I would save about 30% off the top, Nick.
Gotcha.
Right off the top. Because they would
Yeah.
just give me some price and I'd be like, what? It's
There's no
crazy.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, no shot. So that's like what I would consider the next level. Like all my friends that, including us that have brands, we typically customize products. We find products, and now with AI, it's much cheaper to do this. But the way to do it, the best way to do this is you go on Amazon, you say, hey, I want to sell, let's use a spatula again. Not much you can improve on a spatula, but we can use AI to assess the review sentiment from Amazon. And maybe it says, hey, this spatula would be 10 times better if it had an ergonomic handle. Okay.
Hmm.
We find the factory, we make the same product with an ergonomic handle. That's easy to do now, right?
Yeah.
They can do a mold. It's really cheap. Now you have your own product that's unique that meets a specific piece of demand for a product that either has a function or a form that is slightly different than what exists in the market now. Then that gives you something to TikTok about because it's a different product that you can customize the way you want it or really the way your customers want it.
That makes sense. That's really cool. That's a lot of good information right there as well, just to know about
That's the
because
next level, Nick.
yeah.
I mean, I love what you're doing now, but like, I think, and I don't know, maybe you can tell me this. When I see what a lot of the affiliates are doing now, there will be a lot of affiliates that go, wait a minute, I know there's a bigger game here. I can do the affiliate. Now I can build a community, right? Or I can
Mhm.
build an audience, one of the two, right? Then I can go create my own brand. Maybe I partner with somebody who knows how to do that. Maybe I go figure it out on my own. Maybe I drop ship next. And then I go create my own brand because the brand is where you have an asset that you can sell. You have a enterprise value, right? That's where you
Mhm.
can capture significant money is when you have a brand, and building a brand is not easy by any means, but building a brand that lives in somebody's mind as the brand for that, that's where you get true value and true enterprise value. Have you thought about, I mean, you tried the drop shipping, which is amazing. Have you
Mhm.
thought about where you want to progress next? Have you thought about this?
I mean, it really it does come down. I've talked to this a couple times with my buddies because we're always discussing like what's next. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously all the time. It's great to get a commission, but at the end of the day, obviously you can make more and obviously you can build your own company and do the products. And that's why my brother and I we started doing with with these products and just to see how it worked and it did. But from here, I mean, I've been watching a lot of other creators, like you were just saying, making their own products, and it could be just reinventing the wheel. I mean,
Yeah.
not reinventing the wheel. Sorry. So like you're just kind of just taking a supplement
Yeah.
from someone else
Yep.
throwing your own label on it, making it look really good. And if you have really good labeling and just a good commission to give the creators, people are going to want to pump it out. So, I mean, a really big thing I want to look into in the future is possibly supplements, because I've been seeing them just do insanely well on TikTok. The only problem, like the biggest problem, is that every time I make a supplement video, I feel like there's always something that's either said or something that's just not just good with their algorithm, and they always have a problem with it. So you have to go with a certain script always with the supplements. And I'm really starting to pick up on it now, because I've been asking a lot of questions from other creators, like how they're doing it exactly. But as long as you can get around that, then you're pretty much set to go, and you could definitely sell supplements. And for example, like this supplement's been selling like crazy on TikTok, and this is just
Very
something
familiar. Very
that's
familiar.
just something that's in your retail store. It's
Yep.
just reinventing, doing your own thing. And it's very, very simple. I mean, once you get it down, you get the good marketing, you send it out to the creators, you send it out to 1,000 creators, and you can make so much money just by doing it that way.
Well, Nick, I didn't know we were going to segue like this, because this is perfect timing. Because I have a supplement brand.
Okay.
I've had a supplement brand I sold in 2021. It was a physical product. It was coffee products. So it was products you use to make coffee, like French press, milk frother, cold brew. And we had supplements that went into coffee. So like MCT oil powder. We're the number one seller of MCT oil powder on Amazon back then. And then I sold that brand in 21. I have a new supplement brand launching in 2 weeks. And we are going to go this. I just started saying this last month. I've been an Amazon guy for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok shops first, Amazon second. We are now shifting our entire, we're going to go on Amazon, but our focus is shops. I have probably, I don't know, let's call it 5 to 10 friends that have supplement, maybe 20, 5 to 20 friends that have supplement brands that I can think of off the top of my head. And one of the guys, the mastermind last week, has a supplement brand, and he's been pushing hard and having really good success with shops. And then the overflow has gone automatically to Shopify and or Amazon, right? So they're getting bonuses on that. So let's play like real world here. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the option as a seller to choose a commission to pay their affiliates, right? From my research, is somewhere between 10 and 30% seems to be the norm. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's on the money.
Okay. And most guys I see there, 15, 20, depends on the size of their brand, things like that. At 20% is what most people are like, just go 20. It doesn't make that big of a difference to the creator, because they're thinking, how many sales can I get? What's the sales point? Because 20% of a buck sucks, or 50% of a buck sucks, Nick. But exactly. 20% of 30, okay, it's $6. I'll take that, right? Mm-hmm. How do you think about that as a creator, as an affiliate, when you're looking at products?
So that's a great question, because that's the name of the game right there for the creators on TikTok. They want to get that commission. And I talk to a lot of people too, and they're like, oh, well, why do you sometimes do products with less commission? Or, I'm always focused. Well, what they would say is they're always focused on the highest commission possible. Really, it depends on how good that product is and the sweet spot. I think if you can find something that's around the $30 price point and get it at a 20% commission, that's pretty solid, especially because you could sell a lot of it when it's around that $30 price point, because the more people that are watching the videos, they're more than likely going to buy it at that point, compared to something that's around $50 to $70 for a supplement, because at that point, it's going to be a lot harder to sell. Not saying it's not possible. It is more than possible to sell it, but anywhere from $20 to $40 in that range, if you sell a supplement, you're pretty much set to go. And if you're giving out a 20% commission, I think that's great. The creators are going to want to make the videos on it. And even eventually, if I was a seller, what I would do is say, hey, listen, if you sell X amount, I'll either give you an extra bonus, or I will eventually raise your commission to even more, depending on how good they do, because you want them to keep on making videos for that product. And they're doing all the work, essentially. You don't have to do anything. They're making all of the marketing. And all you need to do is just make sure you're getting that product to their house, to the people that are buying it. So if you see someone that's pumping out a product doing really well, make sure you are on top of it with them and saying, hey, listen, we're going to pump ads on your videos. we're going to give you a little bit of a higher commission rate and just keep on making videos for our product because we know it works.
So that, Nick, I swear to God, I feel like I gave you a script, buddy. This is
I
is
know we're
perfect
going right
timing.
into everything.
No, because this is the thing I've noticed about affiliates, and because they don't know the brand side of it, I think they're missing this. You mentioned ads. So everybody I know that owns a brand will put money into ads that work. So
Mhm.
a phrase I've used for forever, I have an unlimited budget for profitable activities.
Gotcha.
So if I'm an affiliate, and I don't think a lot of people are thinking this way, if I get it, let's just say I do, let's say affiliate gets 50,000 in revenue, okay? And
Mhm.
they got a 20% commission and they make 10 grand. That's really good money. If I'm the brand owner of that product, I'm ramping up ads like crazy, Nick. We are going nuts on ads. That affiliate makes way more money because the ads are driving more views and they still get paid their commission. So I feel
You're
like
right.
it I don't hear a lot, and you might hear it more than I do, but I don't hear a lot in the community about it, about, hey, these guys are willing to back it. They're willing to put the money into the ads. Because if it breaks through, and I don't know what that threshold looks like, 5, 10, $15,000 in GMV, then
Mhm.
I want to go after it and I want to step on the gas. Like, let's go. Once we have some success and we break out, I want to put ads behind it. I want to make more money on it, which makes way more money. It's fuel in the fire for the affiliate. Do you hear a lot of affiliates or creators talking about this?
I really haven't heard much on people as much talking about getting ads on their videos, which is kind of crazy to me because I do get a lot of emails all the time saying, as long as the video performs well, we will run ads on your video. And I completely get that. Exactly what you were saying. If you make 10 to 15,000 GMV at that point, you're going to want to add
Run
fuel to the
ads.
fire and keep
Yeah.
going. So I really don't know why the companies are not putting as much ads out there as they should, because if you think about it, it's the same thing as drop shipping, like we were saying. It's just like running ads on Facebook, Google, whatever you want to promote your product on, but you already know it works and you already know that it's generating sales. And it's so easy on TikTok to be buying a product. You don't have to go on a website, you don't have to go and check out. All you need to do is click an orange tab and hit checkout right there. It's a two-step process, and I just don't understand why. And I'm sure we're going to see it more and more often when TikTok just keeps on growing. But listen, if there is a good video, and it doesn't have to be like insanely good, it could be only a 50,000 viewed video, but still did a good amount in product sales, promote it. You just never know how well it can really do at the end of the day, because having only 50,000 views, it could mean that TikTok's algorithm just did not pick it up. But if it made a good amount of sales, it doesn't mean that it's not ad promoting worthy. You could still just give it a shot. You don't have to throw a lot of money on it, but you could first see if you pump it up to 100,000 views, see how that does, and then go from there. But I feel like that's a really big thing, especially I think a lot more creators would want to work with brands that do want to put out the ads on their videos, because then they have more of a drive to make more and more content, because maybe not the first video, maybe not the third video, but if one of those videos do pop, they're going to then get the ad spend because they know that they're gaining the seller's trust, saying, hey, listen, we are going to run those ads. So I just think every company should really take advantage of that, because it not only gives the creators more of a drive to be making more content, but they're going to be making more sales too.
Well, and not only that, I mean, you're going to get more views, you're going to get probably more followers. I mean, it's a win-win for both sides, which you don't get a lot in business. And it's an unbelievably scalable win. I mean, everybody I know that's a friend that has their own brand spends 6 figures a month on ads on Amazon. Some guys spend 7 figures a month on ads on Facebook, on Meta. So
Wow.
like, we're all used to spending tons of money on ads, man. This is not
Yeah.
everybody I know is like, wait, if I put $1 in and I get 2 out, yeah, I got an unlimited budget for that. We're going to do that all day long. We're going to keep running that machine. So I haven't really seen it much on TikTok. I know that, and the ads platform seems pretty simple, like dumb. I mean, there's not a lot to it. There's not a lot of targeting. It's not Google like back in the day. It's relatively simple to do.
I know. It really, it's just like two buttons, I think. It's very, very simple. You don't really have to go deep into it or try to find, because the TikTok algorithm just finds it for them. because as long as the people are getting that product on their page, or if they show any sort of interest on one video, they're going to then start showing videos of that same product over and over on their page. So then that's when they're going to promote, if that's your product or whatever, then they're going to throw that ad on there and then make sure that basically you're going to buy it at that point.
How important do you think? So and this is from a brand owner's perspective, and this is more for me. I've been thinking about this a lot. There's a shotgun approach where you go out to 1,000, 2,000 creators and you give them product, which I think you should do if you have a good product. I also think there's like this, I call it the sniper approach, right? Where you get the same person who's good at creating content, but they create content regularly. Like you said, like if it pops off, reach out to them, build a relationship and have them do that. Which one do you think is more valuable, or do you got to do both as a brand, or are they equally valuable? How do you think about that?
Okay, I do like this question a lot because my brother and I talked about this as well, for trying to find creators on top of just us two sitting on a live all day or making videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with the first approach by hitting up a bunch of creators, I think it's a decent idea. It really depends. What I like to do is, and I know it's a lot of work, so I don't know exactly how to go about it, but I like to look at their page first and just make sure it's not just random sales from one video and that was it. Yeah. And then they just make absolute garbage content. Yep. That's why I feel like the second approach is a lot better, when they're making videos on every product out there, whatever's popping, because you know that they know the script. They know that they could sell a product, whatever the product is, just based off their hooks and based off their outros, whatever they say in the videos. So personally, I think scrolling on the For You page, picking out creators that are making those product videos on every different product, I think that's a better approach, because if you are passionate behind that creator and emailing them nonstop saying, hey, listen, we saw your video, want to keep working with you, I think this is going to be great, and we want to bump your commission up in the future or something, I think that just gives more of a drive for those certain creators that are just trying to find whatever product's hot, because they just want to keep on generating whatever they can through whatever hot product. So if I just think that's a better approach to start with. I don't know. Sometimes just throwing a product out at 2,000 different creators at one time, a good amount of those people are going to make a really just garbage video just to make sure they get that product. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm a victim of it. A couple months ago, I used to do that a little bit, but now I'm kind of making sure I pick what products that I know that I can sell and kind of just run with that now. But even when I was looking at other creators through the seller website, yep, I could just see, like, I don't even know why TikTok's recommending me to even hit these people up, because there's not even content there. It's just random videos. And my brother and I were like, there's just no way we can do that. So instead, what I would actually do is go on Discords, like we were talking earlier, go onto these Discords that have just a ton of the creators in there, ask the owner of the server, be like, hey, listen, I'll give you, $500,000. Let me work with a lot of these people inside of this Discord. Give me a shout out in your next meeting or call. And I'm telling you, you could really get some really good creators in there, because they actually have a drive and they're paying a monthly fee already on some of these Discords as well. So you could tell that they actually want to make that money instead of just making random content on TikTok.
Dude, I love it. That's the approach we're going to take. We're going to definitely do that. And then, I'm in a few different Discords already about TikTok, but I also want to build a community of people and help them. I mean, I think honestly, man, you're living the American dream. I mean, it popped off 6 months ago. I mean, what other country, dude? I mean, what other country can you pop off, make a bunch of money, and then lean into it? And and what I don't see a lot of guys your age, I'll give you credit for this, Nick. A lot of guys get lazy. Like, you're like, hey, man, this is it. Let's go. Get your brother in, and you're working your ass off on it. And I respect that a lot, because so many people are like, I'll do one video. I've seen there's a girl in a Discord. She's crushing it. Barely does one video a day. And you're like, come on. Like, double down on
crazy,
this.
Man. Yeah, like, keep
crazy.
Going.
How long is it going to last? I don't know. It's going to get saturated at some point. It always does. It gets more challenging over time. And this is just everything by nature. Where there's money to be made, there's more competition. It's only going to happen. It's inevitable, right? We just don't know how fast it's going to come. So strike while the iron is hot and make money while you can. I think I give you a ton of respect for that, man. So dude, this has been great. Anything? I mean, I'd love to help more. Is there anything I can help you with? I mean, I gave a little bit about like the private labeling stuff, but as you think about it, have you thought more about what you want to do next?
I mean, truthfully, it is weird on how you were just saying that it is going to get more saturated. There's going to be a lot more competition. I think about that every single day, and I try to think on how TikTok is going to be by the end of the year. For example, though, at least last year, I wish I got onto TikTok Shop when it was Black Friday, because that was probably whatever creators were there at that time,
Yeah.
they probably made such a crazy amount of money. I couldn't even tell you. But I know even this year, on top of that, that's probably going to be the biggest day coming up. And then I don't know what happens with TikTok after that. I mean, obviously we have Christmas, but that's the thing. I just really don't know how much longer this will go for. And obviously, I'm just going to take advantage of it as much as I can and have as many accounts as I can and just keep on putting content out. It even seems like TikTok is running all these little special events like the summer sale, Memorial Day sale, whatever it is, spring sale. They just keep on pumping out whatever they can, which is a great thing because that keeps people constantly buying because they're always thinking they're getting a really good deal. But I don't know. I mean, I actually want to hear your opinion on it. How long do you think TikTok is going to be like this for? And do you think there's going to be competition from any other platform? I know YouTube has been doing the
Yeah.
YouTube store now, which is kind of crazy. They're really starting to work on that. And do you think that's going to be the biggest competition? I know obviously Amazon's up there with TikTok right now, but do you think YouTube will ever make its way up? Because it seems like they're always with TikTok with like their quick feeds with YouTube Shorts and everything. So I'm just wondering your opinion on that as well.
I'm not worried about the ban. I think that, I mean, the U.S. could ban it, but I just think it's worth so much money that when push comes to shove in a year and a half, if they have to, TikTok will divest the American portion of, or ByteDance would sell off the U.S. TikTok if they have to. But I'm not worried about the ban much. The algorithm is the best I've ever seen, Nick. I mean, it is so much better than YouTube's algorithm or Instagram's or Amazon's algorithm. It's not even close. I mean, it's night and day how much better it is. And I feel like that's the real reason why TikTok is so valuable because, coming from a world where it's kind of like a finite demand. Like I can tell you, if you say, hey, I want to sell this product, I can tell you how much the first guy sells, the second guy, all through the 20th guy on Amazon. I can say how many units they sell a day. I can give you an idea. Hey, you could do it. You probably rank like fifth or sixth, depending if you do a good job. And then you'd sell X amount of units a day. TikTok, it's unlimited. I mean, it really is. The virality of it is like, man, I don't know. We might sell one. We might sell 1,000,000. I don't have any idea of how many we're going to sell. And that is a unique time for me. So I feel like, how do you take what I had lunch with a guy the other day. He's got a big personal brand, like almost 1,000,000 subs. He's got the best TikTok drop shipping course out there. Hundreds of thousands of people have gone through it. And so we're talking about this at lunch. I'm like, what are you going to do next? He's 25. And I'm like, what are you going to do next? He's like, I don't know, man. We're building software. I might do my own brand. I mean, he's just trying to think of like what's next because he's crushed it on that platform. And he's built this course that's made him a bunch of money also. I think that it fits down to like, what do you want to build? Like, what do you want to do? What you're doing now, in my opinion, is a cash flow business, which is awesome. Very limited cost. Do you even pay for your samples or you get all the samples for free, Nick?
I get them all for free.
Perfect. So you get them all for free. So you're not even buying. There's no cost, right?
Nothing.
There's no cost to produce, which a brand has inventory, upfront costs, capital costs. I mean, it's, lower margin, obviously. So it's a great cash flow business, but I see most people that evolve, and I did drop shipping to start off with, move to that like they move from like arbitrage or drop shipping to brand building. Much harder. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's much harder, but it builds that enterprise value that has more of a sustaining power regardless of what happens with platform. Because you could sell on TikTok, you sell on Amazon, Walmart, Shopify. I mean, I think Shopify is going to be a real force to be reckoned with. And they have been for a long time, but I think they're going to get more like, I don't know if it's an aggregator of stores or what they're going to look like, but I do think they've got to leverage their overall volume better to compete with Amazon.
Yeah, that makes sense completely. I'm trying to think. I mean, how do I explain it with TikTok? I mean, it's just it's different, and I completely forgot about the ban as well, like you were saying. I mean, I really could not see with how much money is being generated with that. It's just not obtainable. I feel like with that getting banned, I just can't see it happening, and I can't believe some of these people that are making the money too. Like, it's life changing for mothers and fathers and older people, grandparents. You'd be so surprised by the amount of money that people are making with it. So I couldn't see anything happening with the ban. People ask me that all the time, like, what's next? And truthfully, everything I make right now, I'm just investing just to make sure I'm good in the future. I don't want to take it for, you know,
You
thinking
know,
I'm going to make this in the next 5 years or whatever.
yeah.
But I've been doing this entrepreneur stuff for the last 4 years. And, I've worked my way into a house without even having a job or anything, and having a nice car and everything. So I just try to see what's next and just try to run with it as soon as I can, instead of just missing out on the opportunity, because you never know what could really happen.
Yeah, I mean, I look at all the data, the softwares, and the top creator is typically generating about $1 million a month in GMV. And we use our commission structure we talked about earlier, between 10 and 30%. They
Mhm.
made somewhere between 100 and 300,000 that month. That's unbelievable
It's
to me.
insane, bro. It's insane. And I saw
Insane.
a mom made a video on the neck massager thing,
Yeah.
and all she had was her husband in the video as well, but she just had a nice little easy, simple hook. She made $136,000 on that video. And it wasn't even a minute long video. Like, it was very quick, very easy. The husband was just like, "Oh, this feels so good," or something. Bam, $136,000. Like, that is a salary, like
Yeah.
a top salary, like a top
Great
salary in
salary.
the US. And it was just based off of a 45-second video. She didn't have to do anything after that. She just had to sit there and just keep making content. And that's why I'm just like, you never know what video could really make that much money for you. I'm still waiting for one of those days to be, a $50,000 video. And it will happen at some point. I know it will, but you just never know when it's going to happen. That's why that one video, you don't know how basic it could be, just like the one that I was just talking about. And it could generate that amount of money. And it's just insane.
Yeah, I think this is what I've been saying this a lot lately to friends and with the team a lot, is that this is a bigger opportunity right now than Amazon was when I got in 10 years ago.
Wow.
It
That's a
feels
pretty
that
big
way to
statement.
me. I mean, I've seen some of the numbers I've seen from friends are absolutely insane, because it's creating so much enterprise value outside of just shops. Costco, they sell at Costco, right? Or on Amazon, on their own direct to consumer site. I've got a friend, it's a common acquaintance. I met him recently, he lives here locally. He's got a big brand, well known brand. I'd say it, you go, yep, I know that brand. And we had a call recently, and he is shifting away from direct to consumer, which he's been doing for 8 years with the brand. And he's shifting away to TikTok shops and Amazon and D2C, like the whole, he called it the Holy Trinity the other day. And he's
Wow.
like making a massive shift, like letting people go. I mean, like, huge shift in his business, because he sees the writing on the wall.
I mean, it talks for itself, the
Yeah.
platforms. And that's really smart, I feel like, because those are the three you need, and you can just kind of just push everything together, just focus on those three things, and that's it. I mean, he could just buckle down and just make whatever he needs to make off of it, compared to having so many other different places and platforms, whatever he needs to do, just buckling down, especially with that Amazon and TikTok. I mean, they're just on top of each other right now. They're going to keep on pushing out, and everything on TikTok is just bringing brand awareness, like you were just saying, to all the stores and wherever else. The Guru Ananda, I mean, it's not at Walmart or whatever, but it sold over 1 million units, probably way more by now. I mean, that was a couple months ago I saw that. I don't even know what they're at now, but think about how many more sales that just generated at Walmart, because people are just seeing videos on it.
They're the best selling product in the mouthwash category on Amazon.com.
I believe it. I believe it
But
100%.
you, a year ago, if you said, hey man, this no name company is going to come in and beat Listerine and TheraBreath and all these massive companies on Amazon in a category where they have 30,000 reviews, I'd be like, dude, you've lost your mind. There's no chance you can like knock those companies off their perch. And they did quickly. I mean, unbelievably quickly. So like I've had actually a paradigm shift in my head about this, because we used to believe, and when I say used to, more than 6 months ago, everybody I know believed that the number of reviews and the star rating was kind of a moat around your product and your brand on Amazon, right? Because it's really hard to beat somebody who's got 50,000 reviews and you have 5, generally speaking. But what we're seeing now is I'm seeing this shift over to you can take them on and you can beat them because you're sending so much outside traffic to it indirectly through, views and through other people just wanting to buy on Amazon.
Wow. So you're just saying the more that people are seeing the product on these videos, the better chances of getting that product to be sold on Amazon compared to
here's how it works. Here's how the algorithm works on Amazon, Nick. We should probably stop recording. No, I'm just kidding. So here's how the algorithm works.
Don't let them know.
It's called, no, they know. Most people I know that it's a private label know how this works. So it's called branded search. So if you go to Amazon right now and you look up Guru Nanda coconut pulling oil on Amazon, they get about 100,000 searches a month with that phrase on Amazon right now. So that tells the algorithm, coconut pulling oil, Guru Nanda, they're relevant for each other. Mm-hmm. Therefore, people are searching, and they're already pre-sold. So I'm sure I don't know this, but I'm sure it's a high click-through rate. I'm sure it's a high conversion rate. And so it's reinforcing the algorithm like, hey, Guru Nanda is really what people want for coconut pulling oil, right? Or Guru Nanda mouthwash, whatever the phrase is, it's called branded search. That branded search reinforces the algorithm to tell the algorithm exactly how to make things, what is it relevant for? Because the algorithm always struggles with that. Like, what is this pen? What search terms is it relevant for? It needs data to understand that. And the best data is search traffic. And people are coming to Amazon naturally because they like Amazon. They trust it. I'm going to get my product today or tomorrow. I've got Prime. It's easy. My credit card's in there. Conversion rates are insane on Amazon, Nick. They're bananas. Like conversion rates are off the charts on Amazon. And so you get all those like benefits, those status quo benefits, I think, from using Amazon. And so that just reinforces the algorithm, and it's a feedback loop, a positive one. So then you rank higher, and guess what happens? You rank higher, more visibility, better click-through rate, and it's a positive feedback loop for the brand.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. Just based off of typing it in, it's going to give you that algorithm, because it kind of makes sense though, because they're typing it in, then they click on that specific product, so the algorithm picks up on it, and then they start bringing it up to the top.
And they buy. Here's a great example about changing my shift and my paradigm and my beliefs on this. Have you seen the Tabs chocolate brand, Oliver?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so they're on Amazon. They have a 2.5 star, 2.7 star rating, like 2.7 out of 5. I would tell you, I would kill a product if I had a 2.7 star rating. Like, you never can sell anything on Amazon, generally, in the old days, it's 6 months ago, on Amazon with a 2.7 rating. I think they sold over 5,000 units last month on Amazon.
Really?
Because they're pre-sold, this is my belief, they're pre-sold by the influencer on TikTok. So they come and they don't even care what the reviews are, or they don't dig into it. They just go, oh, I'm buying. But it's easier. I want to buy it on Amazon. Bam, bam, bam. I buy it on Amazon, add to cart, one-click purchase, done. But if somebody said you had a 2.7 star rating on Amazon, I'd be like, that product is dead. Nobody's going to buy it in the normal search process on Amazon. So it's really changing the whole e-commerce landscape. It's the biggest change I've seen in the last 10 years by far. Not even close.
Wow. I agree too, because I normally, when I see lower ratings on a product, I usually would never click on it. But I guess since people are seeing the product on video, they start to get more comfortable with it, and they have more of a belief that it's going to be a good product for them. So they go and end up buying it. And then everyone does trust Amazon because it's, a day shipping, get it right to your house, compared to TikTok. I mean, not a lot of people, I'm not going to say not a lot of people, but a good amount of people still don't really know how well TikTok
Yeah.
is shipping out all their products and everything. But yeah, Amazon has been around for so long, so people are just gonna go right from TikTok over to Amazon, type it in, and bam, check out. And
And
that's pretty crazy though, knowing that.
yeah, that'll close. That gap will close as TikTok Shops builds more credibility and trust. It just takes time. Like I think TikTok's working very hard to do that and make sure shipping goes out. And obviously, you know what the violations. If you're a seller on TikTok, man, they you don't mess around with shipping times. They do not.
Hmm.
They have very little forgiveness on that side. So you got to get your stuff dialed in as a seller because they want to build that reputation, and that's
Yeah.
critical to them. So, man, Nick, dude, I could spend all day talking about this stuff, dude. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. So if I can ever help with any of this stuff in the future, I'm happy to help. I mean, as you decide what you want to do and evolution wise of where you take the business and what you want to do next, man, always open, always happy to help. I love this stuff. I love seeing people succeed.
No, thank you so much, man. I did learn a lot as well. And especially for me trying to build a brand in the future, I think you gave me a lot of good insider points and how to really just go about it. And I hope to work with you in the future and get some stuff rolling, especially with TikTok still just making its comeback right now and making sure we're getting a lot of those sales at the moment.
I appreciate it, man. I'll connect you some brands too, buddy. All right. Thanks so much, Nick.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with friends. And if you're an entrepreneur interested in coming on the show, visit therobgreenshow.com to get in touch. Stay curious and never stop learning, improving, or growing.